I don't know. I don't usually record it. That might have been a better idea. All right. Computer. All right. Well, I did the computer. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys for hopping on. Let me grab my notebook here. It's quite a bit. Stayed up pretty late last night. I wanted to compile a lot of good nuggets for you guys here and try to just organize everything out here for everyone. But I'm excited, you guys. I'm excited to go over some stuff. I'm excited to help you guys out and show you guys what I'm seeing in the markets. So let's go here. Let's, I don't need to share the screen here. It's a little far. Actually, I'm just gonna throw this on the chair so I can move a little closer. All right, how does that work? That's not really, is that visible for everybody? Oh, my bad.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? How's
Good.
it going?
Good.
I can't see that. All right, well, I brought some dry erase markers too. Maybe a different color will help.
Chair over there.
Okay. So the style of trading that I do, I know it's a little different than a lot of the other binary options traders, and that's mainly because I trade price action. So price action. Oh man. Price action basically is. That's not even. Is that even? Can you guys see that at all? You can. Okay. Awesome. Maybe it's just because my screen is so tiny. Let's do this. I'm gonna spotlight my video so that I can see here. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. Okay. So price action basically is the it's the visual perception of order flow in the market, or more simply put, it's pretty much the language of the market. And so what that includes are things like candlestick patterns, reading the bodies and the wicks of all candlesticks, and things like that. And then the market structure, of course. So a lot of what I'm going to go over today are going to be exactly that. I'm going to go over candlestick patterns with you guys. We'll implement some Wyckoff theory and kind of some things that I look for in buy to sell areas. But basically, let's go over candlesticks first. Actually, candlesticks would be a good way to start. So there's a lot of different types of candlesticks here, and most of the candlesticks and most of the things that I read are after like a strong upwards or strong downwards movement in the market, and we're trying to catch those patterns at the top or the bottom to find reversal areas. So, and we'll get into Wyckoff in a little bit. That's after coming out of consolidation. But man, I need to get myself organized here. Get a little bit more organized here. So the reason that I like to trade price action is mainly because indicators are great. Indicators work really well, but they can only gauge price and read price after price has already started to move in the direction that we are looking for. So it's a little bit delayed. The indicators are a little delayed in my opinion. So first candlestick we have are dojis. That's where you've got wicks. The open and close price is relatively the same in these three. These are three different candlesticks. I don't know why I didn't space those out more, but this is Gosh, there's so many different names for these, but this is a standing doji. This is a dragonfly doji. Yeah, I'm gonna have to space these out. And this is a gravestone doji. Okay, so the gravestone is going to be a bearish candlestick, or I mean, it's a neutral candlestick, but it's a bearish indication. I'm gonna have to redo all these here. The dragonfly is a bullish indication. So we're going to look for the dragonflies at the bottom of downtrend. Oh man, trailing off. The gravestone, it's an ugly gravestone. We're gonna regrab that a little neater here. It looks about the same. We're gonna find these at the top of uptrend, or we're gonna look for them, I should say. Actually, that's maybe something I should have said as well. So what something is not as important as where it is. I'm gonna write that up here actually. What something is not as important as where something is. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up this whole time because that's super important. So like I said, the gravestone, these are bearish reversal patterns. We don't want to see this at the bottom of a downtrend because we already know that the market's going down. The price action has already told us that the market is going down. So we don't want to find those at the bottom. We want to find these at the top of an uptrend. That's going to be our indication that this wants to take a turn, or that sellers have started entering the market and started to gain more control of the market. Okay. The standing dojis, this is it's more of an indecision candle. Indecision. So the standing dojis, those are going to be spots where prices may be coming to a halt, or it's kind of losing that bullish or bearish momentum, and so then the market is starting to figure out who has control of the market, right? So that's going to be an indecision candle. Now, what we can do with these candles, we can do these with spinning tops too. A spinning top is pretty much actually. A spinning top is similar to a standing doji, but it's got a little bit of a body. It doesn't matter if it's bearish or bullish in most cases, but this is a spinning top, or gosh, there's so many different names for all of these. You'll hear a lot of educators talk about these in different terms, but spinning tops, dojis, those are all going to be, like I said, they're going to show you that, the market is starting to figure out who really has full control, where the market is going to be looking for who is more dominant in the market. So something I really like to look for, and you guys will see me on the sessions, you guys will see me flip through multiple time frame charts. I'll dial from the 15, 5, 3, and the 1. I've been spending a lot of time on the 3-minute actually lately, but I literally dial it all the way between the 1 and the 15-minute, looking for patterns like this. So something that I really like to look for is if I ever see, in this, in an uptrend, if I ever see, two dojis or two spinning tops, let's say we get, a little, a spinning top here, and then we get, a gravestone. If you ever get two of them in a row, that is a major, major key. That's major, major sign of a reversal pattern. So I would expect this to go back down afterwards. Okay. Here, got some things I want to check. Clearly recorded. Yes, I am recording. Good morning, Nathan. Good to see you, bro. All right. So 2 of these in a row, great signs for a change in direction with the market. And like I said, sometimes indicators are just a little bit behind. They're a little laggy. So I like to find them. Obviously, you guys will see me also. I'll mainly have a blank chart, but then I'll put my indicators on as confirmation pretty much. Make sure that something's overbought or oversold. Okay. Does everybody have these down? Can I erase these? All right, Kyle Exotic baby. All right, I'm gonna erase these here. All right, candlesticks. Shooting stars and hammers. Okay, so similar to the dragonfly doji, we also have what are called hammers, or I call them hammers because they look like Thor's hammer. This is going to be a green candlestick. I should have just drawn it all in green. Hammer is another great sign that buyers are starting to control the market. We want to see this at bottom of, I'm just going to say downwards movement, actually. It doesn't necessarily have to be a downtrend, but downwards movement. Just because we trade binary options, and so we are really trading at a fast pace. So it's not always going to be in an actual downtrend, but at bottom of downward movement. Okay. And on the flip side of this, same as the dragonfly, we are going to have, oh, that doesn't work. A shooting star. And these will be red. I don't have red though. My red doesn't work. I'll just color this in black. Okay. That you guys can see those perfect. And then these are going to be at the top of upward movement. Okay. So yeah, I like that verbiage more than downtrend and uptrend because it's just so fast paced. Basically everything that I've learned and everything, my strategy is something that's taught on higher time frames, like a daily chart. It's meant for more swing trading. I've just implemented it into smaller time frames and kind of worked it and developed it into something that we can rock on small time frames as well. But price action is price action. It's always telling you what's going on. But so the shooting star and the hammer, jeez, I can't spell, and shooting star. these are all some of our, besides like an absolute monstrous, no wick candle going one way or the other, these are going to be our second most important, I guess, indicators of a reversal or of a bullish turn in momentum or a bearish turn in momentum with the shooting star. Okay, these are our second most crucial candlesticks. Okay, so I should have just implemented that with the dojis, but I wanted to get those across as well. We good here. So I've got two more things I want to go over with candlesticks, and then we'll get into more fun stuff. Okay. All right. Okay, so because I don't have red, I'm going to use purple as my bearish indications or my bearish candlesticks. So this next one I want to go over is called an evening star. Is that too small? That's a little small. Okay. So an evening star is, we've got upwards momentum in the market right here. Oops, sorry. We've got upwards momentum. These are bullish. This can even be bullish. And then what we have here is this bearish candlestick. This bearish candlestick comes down and completely engulfs these last two candlesticks. And what I mean by engulfs, it means that this point of price here at the open, in your way here. This point of price here at the open, all the way to the close price of this top one here, was completely taken out and completely negated by this one candlestick. So if we're on a 5-minute chart, then this 5-minute time frame completely took out the last 10 minutes of price. Okay? And this is something we see at the top of an uptrend. So what I look for, and sometimes it doesn't give this to us because the market can be disrespectful or moody at times. What I look for is an entry right here. I look to hop in at that wick. Obviously, ideally, everybody wants to hop in at that wick, but usually that wick is somewhere around the 50% area of this candle. Okay? And then this is a continuation downwards. Okay? So this is something, it's an evening star. I didn't even label it, but evening star. Okay? And then we have the morning star, which you can imagine is the exact opposite. So we've got, it's a chunky candlestick. Same thing, but at the bottom of a downtrend. So the morning star, the bulls, they're the buyers, take control of the market. and they take out those last 2 time frames of price. They engulf those last 2 time frames of price. Okay. Morningstar. These are huge, huge reversal patterns. Okay. This is a great way to confirm your indicators, because obviously with a big bullish momentum like this or a big bearish momentum like that, you're going to find that your indicators start to line up nicely. Okay. So I guess more so focus on where you can hop in at that pullback, so we can get the most ideal entries. But usually we get multiple, on a move like this, we usually get multiple candles heading down in our favor. Those are atrocious, but we get multiple candles heading down in our favor, or vice versa, up in our favor. Okay. Now, the last thing I want to go over with candlesticks here quick, is that making sense to everybody so far? Sorry, let me make sure this is making sense to everyone. No takers and money makers. Let's go. All right. Cool. 777. Awesome. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys are taking notes, because what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go, and I'll share my screen here in a little bit, and we will go into the actual charts, and we will find a lot of these patterns. We will find everything that I'm talking about here. I did mark a lot of it up last night. I found some things in the market that I liked and I wanted to show you guys. So that's something that we will do. The last thing I wanted to go over with candlesticks, let's see that. I'm just going to keep alternating my colors here. So let's do this. This is perfect. Last thing I want to go over candles here is wicks. So this is a pretty random consolidated group of candlesticks, right? Well, if we see this at the top of an uptrend, or even after coming to the top of like a consolidated area, then what I'm looking at right here are the wicks. Okay, so when I draw circles around it makes it a little bit more clear. So we've got, and I know if you guys want to look into some of the IM educators, Oren Wright teaches head and shoulders patterns, but this is our left shoulder. Because binary options is so fast, I'm literally implementing head and shoulders patterns, which is a very broad market structure. I'm literally implementing it onto the wicks of candlesticks. Got our right shoulder. And we got the head. Okay. So head and shoulders patterns, you see them in the market a lot. We'll find some in the market when we go on the charts, but you see these patterns over the course of many candlesticks. But this is a very subtle indicator for your reversal pattern. So when I see these, if I see this kind of at the top here, if the market's moving up or it's at the top of a consolidated area, that's my indication that I can expect a move down. I don't completely trade based off of these head and shoulders patterns, but they are a great extra confirmation. Great extra confirmation. What this shows us is price came here and it got rejected. This is a bearish candlestick. So at the time when this candle closed, the market responded by pushing downwards. Okay? But within this same candlestick, it also came and it tested higher. And then this third candlestick completes the head and shoulders. It came back up and it tested, but it didn't quite test as high as the head did. Okay? So that indicates that the bulls are losing strength here, and they can't break above the head there, and they're now shifting downwards. Okay? That's the last thing I wanted to go over with candlesticks, I believe. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. The next thing we wanted to go over was Wyckoff. So Wyckoff is great for trading out of consolidation. This is where I find a lot of my entries is after a Wyckoff sort of, I wouldn't say it's completely Wyckoff, but it's a variation of it. So, I'm confusing people with colors here. We've got a strong push to the upside, right? And Wyckoff, it kind of has this buying climax. So that's the top of where buyers lost control of the market, or where the sellers started to enter the market. We had that immediate rejection down, or automatic rejection downwards. I'm gonna try to make this clean. Okay, so this automatic rejection, this first rejection, and this could be multiple candlesticks, but that initial rejection, that's going to kind of set up the base or the lower boundary of our new consolidated area. Okay, so when we're in here, if it tests above this, or it tests below this, tests below this and keeps coming back into consolidation, that's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of weakness. That's a sign that this bullish momentum is definitely fading. I'm just going to SOW, sign of weakness. Okay? Now, what you guys see me trade off of a lot is the spring, or on an uptrend, I guess it'd be an up thrust. So we have a pop above the buying climax, and this is what you guys hear me talk about when I'm saying, all right, so buyers are in the market, sellers are entering the market, and that's, the sign of weakness. We want to see this head back down, right? But what the banks want to do is the banks want to collect a check. They want to collect money from everybody. So they do this up thrust because the MT4 traders set stop losses. And this takes out all the traders in the market so that the banks can collect all the sellers' money before the banks push the market down. Okay? So when we see this happen, and I'll draw this out. A little differently over here. So when we see this happen, let's say we've got, this is going to be our up thrust here. So let's say that we'll mix in a little buy candle just for the heck of it here. Okay, so what you guys see me do a lot is this purple area is pretty much this right here that I'm talking about, this move. Okay, what you guys see me do a lot is I'll draw a Fibonacci tool with 50% and I'll mark out the 50% to the bottom of this last bullish candle before the market had a strong move down. And this doesn't even have to be with the spring. This literally, I find this in the market all the time, and we trade off this all the time in the mornings. So after a strong impulse down, what this is saying is this is the buyer's last fighting shot, or this is the spot that the buyers had the last moment of control in the market. And so in order to continue this, we look for a retracement. Really want a different color for this zone. So this zone right here. Okay, this is where we're looking at sells, you guys. This is where we're looking at sells. So this candle, this bullish candle, is called a buy to sell candle. Okay, buy to sell. So we're marking out half of the body of this candlestick, and this is our zone. This is our zone for entries. And I mean, it's the higher the time frame, the easier it is to implement. But it works. Obviously, we've been able to make it work on small time frames. And so what we look for is eventually this retracement here. This retracement comes into our zone and it rejects because this is the area where sellers completely grabbed a hold of the market and took control of the market. Okay? I know this is pretty sloppy, but you guys get the gist. All right. Structures will show on any, yeah, they show on every time frame. I mean, I dial this down to the 1 minute a lot of times. And when we go over the charts, I'll be able to show you guys like how I kind of scan through the time frames to find multiple potential entry points and then pick the one that I see most likely to occur. But yeah, we trade these all the time in the mornings, you guys. Any sort of strong impulse down like this, we look at where the buyers last held the market, and we trade inside that candle. We do this all the time. Ideally, I like to trade it off of the springs that occur after a consolidation where the banks are trying to take people out, because obviously the banks are the ones who drove price there. So the banks are going to be the ones to reject price out of there. That's when we get those insane shots up when we take those trades. I didn't really do the variation of it, but I'll draw it out quick. The sell to buy candle is the same thing. Okay, so we're looking at this last bearish candle before the move up. Jeez. Okay, so it came down and then exploded upwards, right? We're going to take the top of that candle, and the 50% mark of that candle. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for the market to come back down, test this zone before it continues up. Okay, we do this all the time. That's why you guys don't see me really marking up support and resistance areas, because I don't really trade support and resistance areas. They do work, obviously. So many traders are successful trading off of resistance areas and support areas, but this is just my style, something that's worked for me. So don't think that this is the only way to trade. This might be a style that doesn't suit well with you. That could suit well for others, but every strategy works. It's just what suits you best. What do you see best? So I hope you guys are understanding this. I hope I'm explaining this well for everybody. Okay. And this will be something easier to show you guys on the charts as well. Okay. Actually, I think that's all I have for the whiteboard. So we will hop on here. You want me to? Perfect. 0, 6, 6. Screen just got a lot smaller. What is going on here? Okay. So there are some things that I want to send over to you guys to. Actually, let's do this really quick. So I know a lot of people were stressed out about seeing how many pairs I have on my chart. Where is it? Where would it be? Actually, I think if I just go, Forex correlation, perfect. Okay, so okay. So this is a chart. You can literally Google this. This is a chart. This is why I have so many pairs on my chart, is because I like to see how other pairs are reacting against one another. Evan Cabral teaches this, or I got this chart from Evan. But basically, you guys have heard me say a lot, like the USD kind of is the dominating currency of the market. A lot of pairs shift and react according to what the US dollar is doing. So you guys know I like to trade Euro CAD, Euro AUD, AUD CAD. So if AUD USD is going up and USD CAD is going up, then AUD CAD is really going to be going up, right? But this is something you can Google. Just Google Forex correlation and save this chart, and it's lights out. It's if you just study this and you really get a handle, on how these pairs correlate with one another, it can be a huge stepping stone for a lot of you in general market strength. Forex correlations, yes. Should just be on Google Images. If I'm being honest, I don't want to try to waste any time figuring out how to compress the file and send it into the chat here. So I have to reshare my screen here. We're gonna go over to the charts now, you guys. What's going on? Okay. I should have wrote these down. I know I had one on EuroCAD. Oh, I did write them down. Sweet. All right, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit here, you guys. So this is a 15-minute. We're clearly an uptrend, right? Clearly in an uptrend. Okay. Oh yeah, this is, oh no, I did it on the 5-minute. Okay. So here's where that morning star is. I mean, it looks really good on the 15-minute too. That's our hammer right there at the bottom. Little hammer, right, on the 15. But look what it did on the 5. On the 5, it created that morning star. So we had 2 bearish candles. Remember, where something is more important than what it is. So even though this is a gravestone doji, I'm going to try to zoom in more here. Even though this is a gravestone doji, it's at the bottom of a downtrend. We want to see this at the top of an uptrend if we're going to use that as an indicator. Okay. But we can see this 5-minute bullish candle completely wiped out the last 10 minutes and almost half of this last even bearish candle here. So completely wiped out all this price here. And this is one of those instances where the market was a little disrespectful on not letting us get an entry because this thing just sailed. It just took off to the moon. Okay. But that's an example in the market of a morning star. What I have drawn here is this line because this is where I would be looking to take an entry on it. So I'm taking it right off the top of this last bearish candle down. And then if we look at this even deeper, like it kind of displays like, oh, that doesn't display it very well actually. Never mind. I was going to say it kind of displays like some consolidation. It kind of does on the 3-minute. It's kind of deciding what it wants to do, but no, it's not a very good looking example. But this is where I'd be looking to take this because this is where we get this big move up over the next 20 minutes from this area. Over the next 20 minutes, it did nothing but go up. Not even a slight retracement with a wick or anything. Okay. So, I mean, if market were open, this would obviously be where our buying area is. And I like it even more because it's on an uptrend overall. I think I drew that uptrend line on the hourly chart, maybe the 15. Okay. Did I have anything drawn on here? I don't remember if I had anything drawn on Euro odd. I know I did on GA. I know I did on UJ and GJ, but I don't know if that was. No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Come on, I just took all that time to scroll in and then I lost it. I need my mouse for you guys. I don't know why I'm torturing myself like this. It's the one issue with the morning sessions that I have, or the one irk that I have with it. Why did I highlight this area? Oh, that's one. Okay. So, I mean, we track it back pretty far even. Pretty damn far. But this is a spot that I really liked because of the massive upwards momentum here. So we took that last bearish candle. This also kind of was a little bit of a downwards thrust here as we, not a downwards thrust, it was a little bit more of a deeper retracement on the uptrend. So that's why I think I picked this area. But you see the market's doing its thing. We're even in a downtrend right here now. It shifted, it broke the uptrend, shifting down. We can still snipe little buys in here, you guys. We'd have gotten in right in our zone, measured out the 50% to the top. It tapped that zone and came out. I'm gonna delete that. Oh, I know where it is. Okay, so we take 3-minute trades most of the time, right? Well, there it is. 3 minutes getting into this zone, boom. We would have cleared that very, very well. Now, it did come down and test this top of it here again and reject, but you guys will see a lot of times, unless it makes unless it makes or doesn't make, if it doesn't make the move that I'm looking for it to make, that's when I do find a re-entry point. But you guys, we take 3-minute trades. As soon as our trade clears, whatever this pair does is not any of our business anymore. We already got our bag. So what it does after that is none of our business. This is the only time that I'm concerned with it. Or the only candles that I'm concerned with. Okay. That's why you guys don't see me take second setups a lot, because a lot of times if there's certain retests, like maybe, it obviously played here, but then the next time it came down like that, it broke through. And then we'd be stressed out battling it in here. It would just be a matter of timing on that. And price doesn't know time. Price doesn't really respect time. It goes at its own pace. So we have to always respect the market as well. Did I have another one on here? I don't remember if I had another one. I thought I had multiple on GA, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's OddCAD that I had multiple on. Okay, yeah, it's OddCAD that I had multiple setups on here. Okay. So, big down movement, consolidation area. This is where we see a lot of these wicks. This is even on a 5-minute. I bet you if we dial it down further, we get a lot of wicks. Because this is where buyers and sellers are battling for the market. So there's a lot of liquidity in this area. So this sets up really nicely for me because I'm looking at this spot here, a lot of battle for the market. Lots of battling for the market. Right in this price here, okay? This move here, breaking above this box I'm gonna get really fine-tuned into here. Breaking above this box shows me buyers want to take the market. Okay. Now we could have even taken this, obviously here, but I probably wouldn't have looked for that simply just because off of this candle. I probably wouldn't have looked for that simply because it hadn't made a really dramatic up move like it did here. Okay. So, I don't know why that candle is so low. That should be at a 50% mark. Ish. But so where I would have looked at it, I would have looked at it here. Because this is our last, right here, this is our last bearish candle before a good upwards movement, right? We get a good upwards movement here. Okay. So I measured out this candle, tested the top of it here. Now, this created, if this is our high, this created a new high. When it did reject and came back up, created a new high. So I would have looked at it again, obviously in here. And then it created another new high. So look at this. We could have taken this trade in this area many, many times. And then it didn't create a new high here. It hit right at the same resistance level. It rejected off the resistance level. But what did I have drawn on the 1 minute here? Now I lost everything. Come on.
Faith, please go and open the gate upstairs for me.
Aha. Oh, that's probably why that was way down there, actually. Why that
And we need to go quickly to Eban and buy tomatoes. I can lock you inside and go. You stay with Mr. You stay with Mr. Aaron, so you stay outside with Mr. Aaron. You're not going where?
I'm gonna mute you, Lillian. Sorry. Talking about something important here. How is this shared? We're sharing is paused. Jeez. Where do I? Oh, there we go. Okay. On the 1 minute, that's why that was down there. So the 1 minute, I measured the top of our last bearish candle before this up move. Look at that. It never came down in here, but it did way over here. And look at that rejection. Look at that rejection. So, I mean, the reason that I drew this out is just simply because none of these prices ever came down and tested it. We had a strong upwards move. This is all the way down on the 1 minute chart, you guys. Strong upwards move. And on our 1 minute chart, that last bearish candle was never tested until way over here. This is probably over an hour later. It's definitely over an hour later. Okay. But look at that insane rejection. That's amazing. That would have been a phenomenal trade. I mean, it barely just wicked it. I think the only reason I drew that up is because it played out so nicely. What else did I have? Did I say that I had? I think I had one on UJ or one on GJ. Okay, so this is a great. This ended up being a break and retest, so it broke through, retested. Oh, actually, this is not. I think this was the one that I just had drawn up that I was looking for, but I don't think we ended up taking that. We broke through. Oh, this is what I was looking at. What time frame did I have that on though? Oh, it was the candlestick patterns. That's why. I'm like, I don't see any buy to sell here. But so the fact that it's in a downtrend works in our favor, right? These are the two candlesticks I'm looking at because I wanted to show you guys some candlestick patterns in the market too. Those are both standing dojis, or sorry, those are both spinning tops. Those are both spinning tops. This is down in the 1 minute, excuse me. This is down in the 1 minute chart, you guys. Down on the 1 minute chart, we've got two spinning tops on this little retracement here. It's like a pretty sad retracement, but I would have felt comfortable taking this just purely because we show that sellers are in control of the market and sellers are maintaining control of the market. It's not letting it push up above here. Okay. Also, it never created, I mean, the wick never came up above that previous wick. Never even came close. So I would have felt really good getting in the market here, even if it was right at the close of this candle. We take 3 minute trades. If it was right at the close of this candle, I would have felt good about that. That bullish candle, I mean. Okay. What was the last GJ? Spinning top in the doji. Perfect. I mean, it's a spinning top on the 1 minute. Two spinning tops right here on the one. Can you guys see how well this works out? I mean, downwards movement. This is where we actually got a complete reversal in the market entirely. Two spinning tops right at the bottom here. This bullet or bearish candle completely engulfed this last bullish one, and these two spinning tops, it still respected that. It still respected that. It created two spinning tops here and pushed the market back up. There were many buyers that had to fight for the market here to kill off all of this downwards movement and push the market back up like this. It's huge. It's huge. I think that's all I had for that, or as far as showing you guys things in the market. I'm debating if I want to go over Fibonacci. I would really love for Jake Bloomstrand to go over Fib because he utilizes it like an absolute champion, and uses it a little bit better than I do, or a little bit differently than I do, I should say. But what Fibonacci is, because I know somebody asked on the session for me to go over it, so I do want to touch on it a bit. What Fibonacci is basically it's a tool that predicts future support and resistance areas from pullbacks in a market. So if we're on our uptrend here, I'm going to draw my trend line in actually with it. Fibonacci retracement, the Fibonacci retracement tool. So in our trending market here, all right, I'm not super worried about the trend line right now. But in our trending market here, if this is going to pull back down on GJ, that looks a little better. The 50, I always have the 50% mark just because I use it for a lot of my candlestick markups. But then this 62 to 70 area, or the 618 to the 0.705, these two yellow lines, that's kind of a zone. That's a zone that like I look in. That little zone, it can be where we see this begin to continue up. This 786 line, that's the kill zone. That's our sniper kill zone. If it taps that 786, we're in there. We're in there like swimwear. But I don't use Fibonacci as often as a lot of other traders. That's just how I use it for like a really quick overview. I like to dial it in on small movements, small time frames. I actually don't. I don't like GJ. I'm gonna go to a different pair. I don't like those pairs. But this actually might be a pretty good spot. So boom, look at that, you guys. We could have caught this morning star. We could have caught that even sooner. So we're reading off of this upwards movement. Off this upwards movement, well, it's got to retrace, right? When we've got that much bullish momentum, it's got to retrace. So this ended up coming all the way down, hitting that 70% area, and it literally bounced right off it. I mean, that's about as clean of a setup as I've probably ever seen on Fibonacci. It never got down to that 786, but a lot of people draw in the 38%, I think is 38% as well, for shallower retracements. But when I look for entries, I like to play off of the deeper retracements. But that's basically what Fibonacci is. It's a tool to predict support and resistance areas in the market. And like I probably looking at this right now, I probably would have been looking at this side of sell to buy candle, and so we would have missed our entry on it. Or I probably would have looked for a different area because I see that this is so far past our little golden pocket. But I'm certainly no expert, no professional on Fibonacci. If you guys are on All for Profit, Jake Williamson is a really, really great resource as far as Fibonacci tool goes. I know that he rocks that a lot. Actually, is Cole still on the call? I think Cole might use Fibonacci too. I don't know. I don't know. I stick to what I know. I stick to what works for me. I think that's a really important thing as well, is to just find something that you like, something that it works for you, and abide by it. I know I went over this a little bit on Friday, but definitely find your strategy. Like I said, like on the all for profit calls, there's a lot of times where I won't take their trade because it just simply doesn't line up with my strategy. And they'll clear it by miles, but it just didn't line up with my strategy. I had to respect my strategy. So if you can respect your strategy and not get in the market on a winning trade, then you'll be able to that'll show up on the other side of the street as well. Like if you're not going to gamble, it's going to prevent you psychologically from gambling in the market, and it's going to help you to determine when to let a trade go and when to hang on to it. So I guess it keeps you more consistent. Consistency is absolute key. That's why a lot of times also you guys don't see me take very many trades on my sessions. A lot of people will go, 7-0, 8-0, 12-0, which is awesome. I mean, that's phenomenal. And I appreciate that you guys have that much faith in me, but I usually take one trade per setup. I usually find my one entry point that I like, and then even if it goes down, unless I find a new entry area by dialing into other time frames, unless I still like the zone it's in, you guys won't see me take or you'll see me wait on a lot of re-entries, just simply because I want to see, is market going to respect what we're doing or what we're looking at, or is it going to completely break structure? So it helps you to be more consistent when you trade like a robot and just really abide by your strategy. Doesn't matter where you place the fib. Yes and no. It depends on the move you're looking for. So like I could place my fib, I placed it, from here to here. But I could also have placed it from here to here. And you can see like that would have worked out too. That's starting to reject off our 50% mark. So it's really, you want to find the 0 to 1, the 0% to 100%. You want to find a zone that you're looking to trade into. If that, I don't know if like I'm quite saying that in a way that really is helpful or understanding, but so like if I'm trying to play off of this movement here, this is where I'd be looking at. This is where I'd be looking at it, or placing my fib. But yeah, just simply because it is in an uptrend on the longer time frames, I do like that. Yeah. So like if we didn't catch this entry on the downtrend or on the trend line, the uptrend line, it's like, all right, before this makes this next massive shot up, where is it going to retrace to before giving us that green light? And that's kind of why I have mine drawn up the way I do, is I call this the little golden pocket. And then that red line is the sniper kill zone. Taking into account currency strength, I actually do. I used to not. I used to, and then I strayed away from it for a little while. But I definitely do go off the currency strength meter. I bought an app for it because the one online doesn't tend to really work for me a lot of times, and for a lot of people, it's always down. So it irritated me enough to actually buy an app for the currency strength. The app is called Currency Heatwave. Currency Heatwave. It's I want to say it's like $20. I want to say it's like 20 bucks, but it always works. Never have had an issue with it. It's been lights out. And I like the way that it determines the strength a little bit more than just the little bars. It actually gives you a number. Where do I place? So my horizontal lines on the charts. Also to finish the currency strength. I try not to ever trade against currency strength if I can help it. It just adds in just one more confirmation for me. It's a phone app. Sorry. And then where I determine placing my horizontal lines is just simply, so for me, if I wasn't using Fibonacci, which a lot of times I really don't, and then we've got a couple of things in here that I see that this could make a deeper retracement. I look for, well, it's a morning star, so that's pretty obvious for what we look at. Let's find a different pair here. Where I find my entries, man, that would have been a little bit sketchy, but I look at these last bullish, or I look at these last bearish candlesticks. This last one where the sellers had a fighting hope before a massive upwards movement. So here's a really good example, actually right here. So massive upwards move right at the top of this candle here. I can draw out my fib on this candle and mark out the 50% mark of that candle, and that's my zone. And you can see on a 3-minute trade, that would have literally been our entry on a 3-minute trade. We would have caught it right on the wick. And the thing with that, if I throw indicators on here, the indicators would have been a little bit late to the party. They wouldn't have spit anything out for us. But literally it tapped the wick. It literally, I mean, that must have been in there. That's one where we would have taken it and it would have shot into profits, pretty much immediately. And we would have cleared that. If we would have gotten in right at the top, we would have gotten in at 8:37. 3 minutes later, we would have cleared above this candlestick, but the lowest we would have cleared would have been the wick of this at 8:74. We would have cleared that by almost 40 points. It's on this 3-minute chart here. We dial it down to the 1 minute. I mean, 1, 2, 3. That's just insane. Insane. But this is obviously something that's been working really well for me. Like I said, everybody's strategy, every profitable trader's strategies work. It's just finding one that suits you, finding one that you really like. If you guys want to know how I learned all of this stuff, like I said, it is a swing a swing trading strategy, but it works on smaller time frames, like we've been able to find out, like we've been able to figure out. If you want to learn it, you would need the steady add-on with IM. And I followed educators like John Dollery and Mauricio. Mauricio even more so. Mauricio really dials this down into small time frames to scalp it on MT4. But I basically have utilized their strategy and I've implemented it into a time-based system to profit on binary options as well. So
really, really big ups to those guys. Huge nuggets to them from them. So, yeah, definitely worth it. I have the elite pack, so I have all of the shenanigans, but the steady add-on I believe is like $20 per month. Do you guys have any other questions at all here? Yeah, man. Hope you guys learned something. Hope it was helpful. I know that I'm kind of a scatterbrain, so it kind of. Yeah.
If it works and gives me energy, I'll take it.
It's pretty nice. It's a little. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure to get the recording out. I believe I'm still recording. Yes, I will be able to get the recording out. I'll compress it and send it out to the groups for everybody. But I wanted to, I can go more in depth on a lot of things, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a good foundation as to how I trade and everything. So we can definitely go more in depth into this. If you guys want to reach out to me with any questions or anything, I'm more than happy to answer those as well. So, but yeah, thank you guys for hopping on a 9 a.m. on a Saturday. And trading schedule. It's because I'm working almost all the time. It's tentative, but I like to trade. I'll trade Monday through Friday. I'll trade Monday through Friday if work allows. Sometimes I have work meetings that get in the way and stuff like that. So if work meetings get in the way, then I obviously need to kind of reschedule some things. But yeah, I'll trade Mondays. I will trade Mondays. Absolutely, you guys. Thank you, guys. Awesome, awesome. Well, sweet. Well, that should wrap this up. Like I said, I'll try to compose some more stuff, and we can go a little more in depth into a lot of stuff. But we can, hop on again. Do I hop on any educator sessions? Usually I'm open to hopping on educator sessions. You mean for trading? Yeah, for trading, I'm open to it. Usually, honestly, I've just learned to not be in any hurry with growing my broker. Oh no, sorry, Jerry. I'm not in any hurry growing my broker, so I usually am able to hit my percentage either in the morning or with all for profit. And because I get up so early, I usually head to bed before I can really catch Matt's session. So I'm open to it. The educators are, from what I've seen, I mean, all of the educators right now are absolutely crushing it. Matt's crushing it. So definitely hop on with those guys. I mean, it's just more, more artillery for your arsenal. Vegan brunch. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Crisp and Green for brunch or for lunch. I guess it's lunch now. I'm going to Crisp and Green. I'm hungry too. I've had an apple today. But thanks again, you guys. We'll take care. I'll see you guys on Monday.